Hello, my dear, and welcome back to another video, bros. Anyway, this is a reading of my school assignment. It's going to be very dramatic. Also, this isn't the version that I submitted to school, because I don't think it would go over well. But, you know, this is the version that I made, and it's not good, but it exists. Also, it's about the fall of Rome. That was our assignment. So, yeah. The battle raged around me, soldiers from both sides fighting and dying. So many screams, piercing and quiet. A chill pulsed through my body as I heard a familiar scream. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna keep laughing. My hand shook as I realized why it was familiar. I dropped my spear and why do I keep doing this voice? And my shield, and then all went quiet. I pushed through the battle, trying to find the source of the scream. When I found him, his face was covered in dark crimson liquid. His spear was nowhere to be seen. His shield was broken. I leaned over his body. Calidus! I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. So, probably should have italicized that instead of quotationed it, but you know what? That doesn't matter. But I couldn't. It wouldn't help him. And it couldn't be found out that I wasn't me. I don't know. I wanted to cry, told him to help him, but I knew I couldn't. No crying till the war was done. Can't cry because the battle has just begun. Starts saying he just suddenly coughed. I knew I couldn't help him anymore. Goodbye. So I left sorrowfully, needing to get revenge on those who had killed my best friend. Crispus, Corvinus said. His voice hurt his face. I can't read. I'm sorry, guys. Filled with mourning as he greeted me. I nodded my head in greeting. He dolefully looked to the ground, where Calidus, his brother, was buried. I handed him the flower, pristine, beautiful rose. He gripped the rose, cutting himself with a thorn. A drop of blood fell onto the freshly dug dirt. He dropped the dark red flower, his face hardened in anger. Viscous, brother, me love so dearly. This is so dramatic. I just can't. He started running, motioning for me to follow. The barracks where we lived were very close to the Visigoth kingdom. Calidus explained that he wanted to steal from the Visigoths and sell their things in the black market. Since inflation was so bad, the black market was the best source of income. Okay, so this was a plot point in my original planning paper, but it's not really anymore, so it's kind of out of place. I just need to add inflation in there. Corvinus was a man of few words, but he seemed almost talkative today. We'd scouted out the Visigoth territory and stolen a few items, but nothing big. Then, I just thought it was simple revenge, but I had no idea what I was getting mixed up with. That's the thesis statement, by the way. I didn't know you need thesis in a narrative essay, so I just added it in there real quick. Also, it's a tragedy, because, it wouldn't be me if it wasn't super dramatic. Marca, this is Julius Gabinus Crispus, your new husband, Marca said. He was a Senate member and decided I was important enough to marry his lovely daughter. Marca nodded, pushing away her long, curly black hair and smiling. He is a great man, father. You could not have picked a more honorable, noble man to marry me. I cannot believe I got the privilege of marrying a war hero who has fought against the treacherous Visigoths who invaded our empire, she said softly, in her almost musical voice. Marcus nodded. Of course, my daughter. You two will get married next full moon. He left the room and Marcus' demeanor completely changed. I know that you're a girl. I know you only fought because the Visigoths killed Calidus, but they didn't actually. Emperor Valentinian III. By the way, it's set in 454 CE. He was the emperor at the time. I looked it up. I promise. Also, Julie is a girl. Did mention that. And I have proof. I blinked a few times at her, staring into her icy blue eyes. You can stop staring at me, she said harshly. Come on, speak up. I already know your secrets. I coughed a few times. I hadn't used my voice in so long. I'd love to see this proof of yours. I don't believe you. I'm loyal to my empire. Why do you think I'm a soldier for it? She huffed in exasperation. She didn't know I couldn't trust you. Nobody's a soldier for money and more. Inflation doesn't pay very well. She heard a noise and froze. Marcus was coming back. I didn't know what to do, so I pushed her on the chair and kissed her hand. Yeah, Julia has a big crush on Marca. If it wasn't obvious. Marcus energetically entered the room, picked a paper, and then quickly left. Quickly leaving. This is... I cannot keep a tense. Wait. Okay, so for some reason I started using past tense in the middle of this, and present tense, and I thought I was using... Okay, I'm so confused. I'm sorry. She heard noise and froze. Wait, no, never mind. Marca pulled away her hand. Here's your proof, she said, reaching into her hair and pulling out a slip of paper. I read the paper. General Manius Sostilius Lanitus, I hope this letter finds you in good health and in the situation to help me. I need you to hunt down and kill El Calidus for suspicion of treason. I believe he's working for the Ostrogoths to take down Rome, and we cannot have this, so kill him, make it look like his Goth, Emperor Valentinian, and the third. My hands are shaking. We have to take him home. Yeah, Julia goes insane, by the way. I mean, not in the... when I submitted for school. Couldn't have that. Also couldn't have suicide. Which happens, by the way. Marca laughed and clapped her hands. That's what I was trying to tell you. Come with me, I know a guy. She's cheering now. We exited the Ocala family villa. By the way, Ocala means beautiful. Marca's beautiful. Instead of following her, I went straight to the black market. Corvinus, I said in a raspy voice. I know my intention was just because, like, Julia hadn't talked in a while, but, like, now I imagine her voice be Emperor Palpatine. He looked surprised to hear me speak, and even more surprised I was a girl. If you listen to what I said. Valentinian killed Calidus. Read this letter from him. First, I said and read the letter. He looked furious. Spread this around, I told him. He nodded, his hands shaking as he gripped the letter. Marca took me to a clearing in the forest. Sorry we're late. My wife had a little trouble believing me. A bit of trouble believing me. A man with curly black hair, olive skin, and piercing green eyes dropped down from the tree. Is he Tarzan? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Marca, he said, hugging her. Adrian. He saw me. Who's this Marca? He asked a hostile look in his eyes. This is Julia. She's my wife. She's a war hero, and she wants to join us. At this point, Julia is probably like, no. Adrian held out his hand. I shook it. I'm Adrian. Hello, I'm Greek. I'm an Ostrogoth leader, and I want to take over Rome. Hello, Adrian. I said quietly. All my thoughts within me, fearing, wondering, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. The stillness wasn't broken, and the silence faded took, and the only word was spoken was the whispered word Lenore, from the rare and raging maiden whom the angels named Lenore. Only this and nothing more. I don't know. It's a tough decision. Should I stay with my empire? Follow me, we have some new supplies and new people. Show us the camp, lots of people. Men, women alike, were learning to fight, spy and steal. A few people, with the shield showing him as an Ostrogoth general, were instructing them. Just then, a storm of people entered. I knew them as the Black Market crowd. I saw a familiar face. Corvinus, I said, running up to him. You made it. What's the plan? He asked. Adrian came up to him. The plan is we still must kill them and the Empire and any citizen who resists. He said, smiling almost evilly. I nodded, but Corvinus was unsure, but also nodded. The day of the attack came, and Mark and I slipped away, very unsure about the plan. We took a walk, said our goodbyes to the town that we'd grown up in. She with no village and all she wanted, me with no family, no hope except to join the army. Or starve on the street. Yet we were here. Yet here we were in the same situation, having just betrayed our empire and regretting it. I heard a slight whimper, and saw a tear from Marcus' eye. I wiped it away secretly, remembering to not let my fellow soldiers be caught crying. I remembered what I had told myself only a month ago. It seemed so long when Calidus died. I changed so much. To a regretful spy who didn't want to betray anyone, who was going to have to end up betraying both. No crying till the war's done. No crying till the battle's won. Although the war wasn't won, I found myself crying. Hot tears ran down my face. First time I was ever allowed to cry. Marka looked at me and saw my tears. Through my tears, I could see her blurry expression, wondering what to do. She kissed me. I kissed her back, holding her face and feeling her soft lips on mine. She pulled away. I love you, she said. I hesitated. I love you too, Marka. Yay! Cute lesbians. Wonder how long this will last. We slowly approached the Senate building, hearing the screams of agony echoing through the street. So much blood. Marka was shaking, not used to such horrible sights. I turned around. Go get a boat to Greece. I have one last thing to do, I told gently. All right, Julia. Stay safe. I smiled at her. I watched the building, and the screams seemed to disappear. I had one last thing to do, and then I saw him. Corvinus. I'd never seen him so bloodthirsty. He attacked the Senate, his spear running through them. Corvinus, stop! I said, not knowing what else to do. He faltered, but didn't stop. I had no choice but to grab a spear of one of the fallen and attack him. Neither of us were wearing armor. I drove the sword through him, feeling the blood well. He looked at me one last time before he collapsed, and light left his eyes. Goodbye, Corvinus. As I tried to cry, I tore the building and went to the harbor, where Marka would be. But she wasn't. The only one there was Adrian. The cruel look, his usually friendly green eyes. Trying to desert. That's not very honorable of you, soldier. Where is Marka? He left. I'm afraid she's dead. You shouldn't have left her alone and vulnerable when you went to kill your friend. You can't leave once you join. You stay. He said. I pushed him into the water and held his head under. As I cried, he killed my wife. The one person I loved, and he was going to pay. Goodbye, Adrian. I said coldly. You shouldn't have killed Marka. Leave him in the water. You shouldn't have killed Marka. We're just gonna change the tense. I walked away from the sea, not looking back at him. When I saw it, Marka's body. Her hair was disheveled and bloody. Her clothes were soaked in blood. I couldn't see her face, and I didn't know if I wanted to. But something made me walk forward. I heard a faint and ragged breath. I turned her head over, and her glassy eyes stared at me. Julia, she said faintly. I could hardly hear her, so I moved closer. Her disfigured face terrified me, but she was my wife. I loved her. I'm going to die, she said. Sorry, I'll fix this after. No, you aren't. There's still hope. You find a doctor. She slowly moved her bloody hand up to my mouth, shushing me. There isn't any hope, Julia, and I'm in pain. Please. I cut her off. No, you aren't going to die. I'm not going to kill you. Mark moved her out slightly. No, you must. I love you. You love me, right? I nod, not able to speak. If you love me, kill me. I stared at her, after what seemed like years, till leaned on my head. I love you, Julia, I say. Then I smash her head into the rock. So, my friend, after reading this, who got attached to characters, he's like, no, Marka. And then, because, I just want everyone to be super depressed. I had more. Also, this is where it ends in the school edition I gave to them. I'd still be a little graphic, but nobody cares. I didn't recognize myself after I killed my love, making myself revenge. I almost dead. I didn't care. I wasn't going to stop fighting, ever. I was totally solitary. I hadn't looked in the mirror in years. Heard voices other than the ones in my head. I no longer spoke. There was no reason to. The only sound of people I heard was screaming. So many screams, and I didn't care. Maybe I was really that heartless. I left my house to go for a walk. People screamed when they saw me. In their eyes, I was a monster. Maybe they were right. Maybe I was. My skin was peeling off. My hair was shoved and falling out. I suppose their screams were warranted. Nobody recognized me. Not even I did. Except for her. Julia. she asked. It had been years, but she still remembered me. And I remembered her. She told me not to starve on the street. She'd saved my life, although I was horribly sick. She left me. Okay, so the vibes you should be getting from this girl is 1, unnecessary second love interest, and 2, true crime community girl who has a crush on a serial killer. And those are the exact vibes you should be getting. Appia? I asked, looking at her. Appia nodded, her sleek blonde hair bouncing with her head. She hugged me. Trillia, it's okay. Come with me. I go with her to her dwelling. Her husband had died months ago from illness. I love you, she said. I hesitate. I still love Norka, but I also love Appia. That was fast. I know. After a few moments, I respond. I love you too, she smiled and goes to bed. It's very late. I would also sleep, but I can't. Thoughts of my horrible crimes rush through my head. I killed somebody. I tried to kill Marga. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I was a terrible person. I didn't deserve to stay on this earth. Then we break the fourth wall. Well, kind of. Appia, if you're reading my journal, goodbye. I love you. I close my eyes, trying to push back the tears. One falls on my name. Okay. And this is from Appia's point of view. I close my eyes, trying to push back the tears. One falls on my name. Sing her love for me. I love you too, Julia. Whisper. String. I love you. So yeah, there is suicide in here. I mean, it's not explicit, it's just implied. But you know what? It's a good story. No, it's